Hello everybody. Welcome to our very first ever live stream on YouTube. Hopefully if we are live, let me just check this here and make sure everything is okay until some of you will join us. Let me just go over here. Yes, we are live. Perfect. That is fantastic. I'm just gonna give it a few seconds. Hello, Michael from San Diego. Yay! California, what is going on there? There's a lot going on with California. Hello, Lou. Hey, this is actually exciting. I have been meaning to start my live feed on YouTube for a while, but for those of you who have been following my activities, I've been traveling a lot, which makes it very hard to be around. So yay, we finally did it, and it is great to be here. And I think the main reason I finally decided to do this is the fact that, I don't know if you all heard it or not, but President Trump finally today, this morning, addressed the nuclear deal with Iran, which I figured I would like to cover it. I would like to cover that, and I'm gonna look for your input on it, because I want to know, what do you think? But I'm gonna start with what I think. First of all, honestly, it was a brilliant piece written for him. I was very happy to finally hear our president to mention IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. I was very happy to hear their name, and the fact that it was repeatedly, within a few short minutes, it was repeatedly mentioned how amazingly it's known to our government, American government, of what they do and who they are and what they've done to the people of Iran. That was like really like a very, very good thing to hear, especially because very recently I actually did a live video on my YouTube mentioning how IRGC is behind a lot more than most of people in the West would realize. So that part was brilliant. It was great to hear. And the whole, exposing it was great exposing the agenda of the regime in Iran and the entire history. He went over a very few terrorist attacks of the regime of Iran outside of Iran, and the bombings and the attacks. And I just love the fact that he actually mentioned how IRGC was behind the training of those who ended up being part of September 11th. So all of that was brilliant. But here's the thing. The general speech, the closing, that the outcome of it was as disappointing as it gets. And let me tell you why. So we have a nuclear deal that clearly, from President Trump's words himself, is the most ridiculous, and this was when he talked in front of UN a few weeks ago, when he said it was an embarrassment to have such a deal. And today he mentions how this was a one-way deal and America was not benefiting from it at all. But however, and he goes on saying, as a president, he has the power to just sign and get rid of this deal altogether, but he still decided to go ahead and try to renegotiate and fix the flaws within this deal. Personal opinion of mine. When this whole thing started way back in 2015, I put up a petition and I was against it. I still am against it. And I don't think this deal has flaws here and there. I think the whole thing is just wrong completely. And as President Trump said himself, every day that goes by, it's another day that Islamic Republic of Iran's regime is taking a step forward for their nuclear weapon. So I don't understand, why would President Trump want to try to renegotiate and fix the flaws? I mean, come on. I know he knows that the end of this story is to just walk away from this deal. Why are we giving them more days and more opportunity and more time? And by the way, it was funny when he was saying, you know, I'm asking our allies. I'm like, listen, none of our allies who are involved with this deal, none of them are going to back us up. They just won't. Our allies are the same countries that are going down based on their immigration laws and open borders and poor Muslims strategy. So why are we expecting them to even get behind us on this movement? That's a wrong move. So yes, I am absolutely disappointed. I was so looking forward to hearing President Trump saying he's walking away from this deal. And as he said, they have more than enough evidence at the moment that Islamic Republic of Iran's regime has not lived up to the agreement. So he has more than enough evidence and facts to walk away from this. Why is he not doing it? I personally don't know the reason. And I've been reading upon it. I'm trying to watch different videos. I've talked to many people. And I don't understand. I don't see a logic behind deciding to continue renegotiating and, as I said, fixing flaws. This whole thing is a flaw. There is no fix. It's like literally the building is coming down. What are you trying to fix? The roof? The roof is gone. It's just giving them more time. So I am extremely disappointed. And as I said, I voted for President Trump. And one of the reasons I did was because he did mention on his campaign that he will be walking away from this embarrassing deal in the history of America as soon as he becomes the president. So as a person who voted for him, I am extremely, extremely disappointed, considering, again, everything that he said on his speech. He's admitting to the fact that Islamic regime is terrorist supporter, and they are making more terrorism, and they're financially backing terrorism. I mean, what more do you need to walk away from this deal? I don't know. But as I said, I will take a few minutes to read all your comments as well, because I really want to know what everybody else is thinking about it. And I watched a couple of videos, and I still haven't been able to really hear anyone with reason. I've heard a lot of propaganda all day long, and I've heard a lot of people jumping off the Trump train and all these regular behavior and regular reaction. And I read the reaction of President of Iran, Rouhani, which is filled with the same thing that he always says, the threat after threat after threat, which, okay, he comes out and say, if President Trump walks away from this deal, America is going to pay a high price. Why? I mean, you broke the rules. And as I said, President Trump has every single needed facts and evidence to walk away from it. Now, he decided not to, so I don't know why that is. And I read a few different places, a few different dates of apparently within next week, the final decision will be made. I mean, not final decision, the renegotiation terms will be ready. And again, don't get me wrong, I understand the moment that Obama administration handed over billions of dollars to Iran's regime, it was what's done is done. Just fixing that part of it, it's going to take years. For people of Iran and everyone else, including us in America, that gave them such a boost that, you know, even slowing it down would take forever. So I don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is all President Trump's fault at all. It all started with Obama administration, and you know, the disaster started with them. But my expectation from President Trump was to put an end to it instead of trying to maneuver around it and play politics. You know how I always say what I love about President Trump is that he's a person before being a politician. But today I kind of felt different. It kind of felt like, oh, okay, so we're playing the politics, and we are playing the game, which is we don't have time for it. I mean, Islamic Republic of Iran has made it very clear from 38 years ago that their ultimate goal is to wipe Israel off the map. They have been clear about it. They have been loud about it. As he said on his speech today, their favorite chant is "Death to America, death to Israel." So with my mind, it's just not clicking. What are we giving them more time for? Why aren't sanctions back on? And President Trump just said it himself that IRGC has been behind a hell of a lot of terrorism everywhere, in America, in Canada, in Europe, in Iran, in Middle East, everywhere. So what are we waiting for? More evidence of what? You see, the whole speech, if you dissect sentence by sentence, it just didn't make sense. On one hand, he's standing there and admitting to the fact that they know and they have evidence and there's proof that Islamic Republic of Iran is torturing its own people, it's killing people outside of Iran, and it's behind death of many American soldiers. But then on the other hand, let me think about it and let me figure out a renegotiation. That makes no sense. Absolutely none. And well, we waited 2 years, but I'm willing to wait another week to see what is the new investigation going to give them. But I'm as I said, I'm very, very, very disappointed, and I was counting on President Trump to stand up and do the right thing, but he didn't. And I believe somebody just asked me if I know how close Iran is to the nuclear bomb. Kurt, you asked that. To be honest, they actually, based on the latest report that they said, they are pretty much there. They're pretty much there. They have it all done and ready. And as I said, you know, $150 billion does a lot. And let's mention the fact that they didn't start yesterday. They've been doing their nuclear programming for about 32 years. So under the bus, I don't know, I'm just going to call you by your ID. Under the bus says the Iranian government is hard to deal with, shady business. You know what? I understand what you're saying, but I would say it's not about being hard to deal with them. It's about, Kurt, they already did the testing 10 days ago. It's not about hard to deal with them. It's about we shouldn't deal with them, period. From what I understand, in America, we don't negotiate with terrorism. We don't negotiate with terrorists, sorry. Why did we negotiate with them 2 years ago, and why is President Trump renegotiating with them again? His own words, his own investigation, his own conclusion that Islamic Republic of Iran's regime and government is supporting and financing terrorism. That being said, why is he renegotiating with terrorists? That is my main question. President Trump, in America, we don't negotiate with terrorists. We just don't. Simple. But you are doing it. And again, you have done a good job on other areas, but when it comes to this one, I don't think you're doing your job. Simple as that. I'm not jumping on or off of any train or anything, but my personal opinion is President Trump is not doing his job. When it comes to Iran nuclear deal, he's not doing his job. His job was to walk away from this deal, but he didn't do it. Yes, I understand, Lou. Trump is cleaning up Obama's mess, but that's my point. If we look at it as a cleanup, instead of just pouring bleach and scrubbing it, he's basically sitting there steaming it to see maybe the dirt would just go away. Just bleach it off. That's how you clean up the mess of Obama when it comes to Iran nuclear deal. Again, based on what he said on his speech today, he has the power and the evidence to walk away from this deal, and he should have done that. Laura, I am calm actually. Trust me, this is me calm, and I'm not doubting him being a smart man or not. I'm just saying that based on everything, again, remember, I come from Islamic Republic of Iran. I know their politics, I know their policies, I know their steps, I know who they are, and I know how they operate. There is no renegotiating with these people. There isn't. So I'm not saying he's not a smart man. I'm just saying, as I said at the beginning of this video, I don't understand. Why is he renegotiating? What is he trying to fix? The holes are too many to fill. What he said is, let's renegotiate and redo the deal, basically. And that's not a good news, and I personally am not comfortable with it. I'm not, but... Well, yes, there are too many hands, and as I said, when he was referring on his speech, when he was referring to, inviting our allies to join us on this decision, I literally out loud said, they won't. They won't join us on this. None of them will. Honestly, the decision isn't much to join anyways, but even if he decided to walk away from this deal, he would still get a, backlash from everyone. It's not like I can, as far as give him time. He's the president and he has all the time he needs. But again, it goes back to where they're standing, referring to Islamic Republic of Iran. Again, based on what our president said today, every single day is an extra day. So it's not about me giving him time. It's about him knowing that he shouldn't take too much time. That's just it. Well, George, if I don't believe that is the case, but George is saying that, why is that? Perhaps Iran threatened to release the damn nuke. Again, it goes back to, we don't negotiate with terrorists. Well, if you're going to bend over because they're making threats, then we're pretty much done. And again, I don't believe that would be the case. I don't think that. I don't think, first of all, they're not ready to release nuke. And that's exactly why I said it's not about me giving President Trump time. It's about him realizing how close they are. They're not ready to release nuke. But I personally, coming from Iran, I am kind of sick and tired of every other country kind of tiptoeing around Islamic Republic of Iran from the very beginning, because they have the money and they have the means to attack other countries. Somehow, somewhere, somebody needs to stand up and start fighting back. Now, with what Obama did, it made it harder, of course, but still. Yes, Kurt. About a year ago, when I was interviewed about the nuclear deal, I said I think they should definitely put back all the sanctions. Those sanctions were definitely working. And again, that's my point. That's how President Trump opened his speech, right? It was getting very close when Obama lifted all the sanctions. So all they need to do is put them back. Put those sanctions back. And no, it will not affect the people of Iran whatsoever. People of Iran are suffering and living in poverty no matter what, because mullahs in Iran are not providing for people of Iran. Iran is one of the richest countries, but people are suffering anyways, because mullahs take all the money. They take it for their own use, or they take it to hand it over to all the Palestinians who are blowing themselves up in Israel. And again, everything I say, for those of you who may be just new to this channel or new to my work, what I say is easily found on Google. Just go on Google and say, look up Supreme Leader of Iran on rewarding $7,000 Palestinians. They made it public. They announced that every Palestinian who has lost their children, their son or their husband, to bombing in Israel will receive a $7,000 reward from Islamic Republic of Iran exactly day after they receive the money from America. So that's where all the money went, which actually President Trump asked that today, and I was kind of raising my hand. I'm like, can I answer that? Can I answer that? Can I tell you where the money went? Money goes to support the terror. All terrorism anywhere in the world. As I said, people in Iran are not being affected by this sanctions being back or not. People in Iran are just suffering the way they're suffering, regardless of sanctions or not, deal or not, they suffer. That's just the way Iran works. So that's just the way it is. But again, my personal opinion, President Trump shouldn't keep giving them time. He should walk away from that deal. As I said, this deal should have never been made. But as he said again, what's done is done. But right now, the best solution is walk away. We need to walk away. Put the sanctions back and walk away. Walk away from this deal, because, as I said, the day Obama signed this deal, I actually did talk about it, and I said the blood of many Iranians and many Jewish people are on your hand, President Obama, because you just literally handed over a good chunk of money for them to continue on doing what they're doing and to continue building their nuclear weapon. Correct me if I'm wrong, President Trump today said that Islamic Republic of Iran has used their power to eliminate a correct inspection. And I said that about a year and a half ago. I said, how is it possible that they go and they do all these inspections and come back and say there is no problem with human rights, there are no political, like, do they actually go to every prison and see all the political prisoners suffering and they're being tortured, being executed, and they still say they don't see anything wrong? Or do they just turn a blind eye and go in, come out, and done? And my theory was confirmed with President Trump's speech today. So that, again, it goes back to, what are we trying to renegotiate? We shouldn't have negotiated in the first place. Now we know it's done. It's time to walk away from that deal once and for all and cut it loose. So, my personal opinion, my personal understanding, this was a disappointing day. As great as the speech was, as beautifully written, and I love the fact that there was so much information in there for those who may not know about Islamic Republic of Iran and IRGC, but the conclusion was pretty much disappointing. It was an informative speech, but conclusion was disappointing. And I hope sooner rather than later President Trump realized that this isn't something he wants to keep on buying time for. He needs to deal with it now before it gets too late, before he realized that there is no way out of it. Even if they are making threats, for love of God, this is United States of America. We don't bend over when somebody makes threats to our country. We fight back. Or at least the America I came to 15 years ago was like that. I don't know where we're standing today with all the, 8 years of disaster. But I still would like to think that we don't bend over when Iran or any other Islamic state makes threats. I would like to think we fight back. So I hope that's not the case. I really hope that isn't the case. And I have been all over Iranian websites and the news channels, and I haven't heard anything about threats. Yes, the president of Iran, President Rouhani, mentioned that if he walks away, America will pay uh, a high price. But there has not been a single detail about how or what. And trust me, Islamic Republic of Iran is all about bragging and, you know, making empty threats on their own website, so they would have scared their people. So if there was such a thing, I would definitely know about it. But it isn't. So whatever the reason, whatever the reason it was for him to continue trying to renegotiate this deal, I really hope he has good reasons. And as I said, I'm not jumping off or jumping on any train. I am not saying he's a bad president. As I said, he's done a great job on many different areas, many different subjects, and I still stand by him. But this one is specific. Today, I don't feel like he made the best decision. But we'll wait and see where it goes and how it goes. And I will try. I have my eyes on Islamic Republic of Iran's news, as I said. I will try. If anything comes up and if anything happens and if they say anything, I will make sure to to do either an article or a video about it on this channel, so you all would know about it. Until such a time, I'm just gonna go with what I have, which is at the moment I try to renegotiate the most embarrassing deal of America's history. So let's see where that renegotiation goes. If you guys are new to this channel, please do me a favor, click that subscribe button and then that little bell thingy. If you click that, you will get notifications every time I either go live or upload a video. And if you're already subscribed, thanks for subscribing. Share this video wherever you can and tell your friends to subscribe to this channel. I will be more active soon, and I will try to cover as many stories as it is. 99% of the time I cover jihad, Islam, and Islamization. This was basically, I think, the first time ever I went outside of that, which is still related to Islamization, because Islamic Republic of Iran plays a huge role on Islamization of America specifically. With that being said, thanks for being here, and don't forget to share this video. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye.